Hey, Michael, why don't you talk about NORAD standing down? Why don't you talk about NORAD standing down, Michael? Why not the really hardcore 9/11 issues?
Michael Moore and the controlled opposition like him may be afraid to even scratch the surface of 9/11, but we're not. We're going to go to the rock bottom of this horrible event and expose who truly perpetrated it, because the future of America and free humanity hangs in the balance.
My name is Greg Palast. I report for BBC Television. I was a writer for the Guardian newspapers, the main paper of Europe. The way they're covering protests here, let's see, there was a picture in the New York Times of a scantily clad woman who was listed as a young communist poet. And let's see, there was a AIDS protester, who looks scary and spooky and is about to infect the rest of America shown. But you don't have what we're literally hundreds of thousands of average people just saying, we're fed up and we dissent and we don't like what's going on. Why don't you listen to us? That's what people are saying. Listen to us. We have a very interesting summer camp here in New York, 2,000 people locked up in a condemned building out on the pier. While the police say they've arrested 300, there are 2,000 being detained. What we see in Baghdad becomes in New York this week, Baghdad light. So instead of heavy tortured shackles, you have plastic handcuffs, but it still has the same purpose: keep the population in line. This is not the United States of America that we pledged allegiance to as little kids. We were very proud of the First Amendment, and you could dissent in the USA, and now suddenly dissent is becoming, they're labeling dissent as unpatriotic.
We're in New York City, right here on the Hudson River. And this condemned former bus station where they stored the buses is being used to hold over 2,000 protesters. And they admit that they randomly set up fences and scoop up whole crowds of people and then take them here. And for over 3 days, they've not let people talk to lawyers, call out, talk to their families. Some have been released. Some have gone to the hospital with rashes over their entire bodies. This building is condemned. The city admits it. The bus union wouldn't allow them to use it years ago, so they turned it into an emergency police facility. It's full of asbestos, chemicals, oils from decades and decades and decades in this 70-year-old building, and the average stay for someone scooped up in there is over 24 hours. The city even admits that.
Many of the nearly 2,000 protesters arrested over the past few days have been taken to an old bus depot on Manhattan's West Side. But now the use of Pier 57 as a temporary holding facility is stirring up some controversy of its own. Protests are being held there to spotlight conditions. Some of those being detained say they're getting sick. There are reports of cramped conditions, rashes, chemical burns, and difficulty breathing.
We should call this facility what it is, and it's a concentration camp. It's the Pier 57 concentration camp.
The mayor has the nerve, and the police commissioner has the nerve to allow this to happen, to actually stick people in an oil-filled garage with asbestos. The orange nets are about 4 feet high. They're used in construction to wrap construction sites so people can't get in or out. And the police just ring them around you and you can't escape. I've been promoting that idea that we're heading for a fascist dictatorship here. And obviously people are beginning to go, I'm beginning to think you were right. And I think tomorrow we got to get everybody out there at Ground Zero between 1 and 6 p.m. to try to get the truth brought out, to urge Elliot Spitzer to reopen this case.
Now you're going to learn the truth about 9/11 that others dare not tell you.
We're here at Ground Zero, and a big protest is gathering and preparing to march across town. And behind us, you can see the militarized police are massing for a response if there's any type of problems that develop. This is a hallmark of a society in decline, where you have peaceful protesters showing up at Ground Zero calling for peace, and you have police officers not with just non-lethal weapons, but with fully automatic rifles. You see the Founding Fathers, they stood up. They were 4% at the beginning, and they said no to the redcoats and no to the establishment. And Mark Twain said, in the beginning, a patriot is a scarce man. He's hated and feared. But in time, when his cause succeeds, the timid join him, because then it costs nothing to be a patriot. And we're looking for patriots that know what the Bill of Rights and Constitution says, and that can see all of this and know that it's a fraud. Get that guy.
He's trying to take pictures of me. He's got you already wrong.
Hey, get him. Gonna make you a star. Better hold it up there all day. You with, buddy?
Have a nice day.
Huh?
Have a nice
Oh,
day.
what?
No, seriously.
I have a job to do. You're going to interfere with my job, then we're going to be in problems.
Hey,
Okay?
really, sir, you shouldn't touch me. You need to identify yourself. You know in the state of New York that's assault, what you just did. And I'm asking you a question, sir. Why are you harassed? Who do you work for? You work for the city of New York just to document people? Huh?
Excuse me.
Well, you need to tell us. I mean, this is a free country.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
I mean, this is disgusting. Get some more of this guy. Well, there's your badge. Can we have your badge number, please?
Nope. See my boss over there.
Who's your boss?
Any one of those people. Bars on.
Do you think God is a conscious?
Sir, can you tell me this guy's badge number? Secret police just covers his badge up. Secret police in America. Out photographing people. That's the shot. That's the shot right there. Get it. There he is. Get it. Infowars.com. See yourselves. You're going to look good.
Everywhere we traveled in New York, secret police videotaped and took photographs of us. But it wasn't just our crew. It was the mainstream media and the general public at large that were being photographed. But the worst area of all was Ground Zero, where the police took photographs of protesters and attempted to intimidate them as well. The police photographing the citizens is bad enough, but across the country we've caught the military photographing the public, as well as working with the police at football and baseball games, searching people's goods. Why, in Alabama, the Alabama Defense Force comes out, forms cordons around whole cities during different festivals, and searches every man, woman, and child, training them how to live in a high-tech police state. And now our police themselves are beginning to turn into the military. And guess what the military does? They fight an enemy. They are set up to kill people and break things.
Susan, back to you.
Sir, I just wanted to say that.
Well, we're going to leave it at that. Thanks very much. We'll be back outside Madison Square Garden in a few minutes.
And Susan, of course, the floor is empty, but they're here, and lest we be accused of not hearing all voices, we cut you off a moment ago. This is Alex Jones from Austin, Texas, a radio talk show host.
Yes, sir, with Infowars.com. Both candidates are cousins. They're skull and bones. They're bringing in big government and tyranny. The evidence is clear. The military-industrial complex was intimately involved in 9/11. The commission is a complete fraud. We're losing our freedoms. Both parties are controlled. And if we don't wake up and stand up and speak out, this country's going to be destroyed. Giving up liberty only gives us tyranny. It does not give us security. And I hope that everybody out there wakes up to this and realizes that America is America because we have the Bill of Rights and Constitution. Everybody should investigate 9/11 and find out who's really behind it. It's Bush's and the New World Order's Reichstag. And his cousin Kerry isn't going to save you either. Thank you, PrisonPlanet.com.